In this video, we're going to uncover SMMA in 2024. What is it like? 3 myths that people are telling you so that you think that SMMA is this desolate business model that no longer works, and ultimately so that you buy their new thing. I can't tell you the amount of times I've seen videos in the last few months of people saying that SMMA is saturated. Most of the people that have said that in videos are saying it because they decided to stop their SMMA or they tried it and they couldn't make it work. I've seen an overwhelming number of people that have done SMMA, got it to maybe 10, 20, 30k per month, and then they've made videos explaining why they shut it down. And look, most of those people will say the same thing. They just didn't enjoy the business, which is fine. If you don't enjoy the business, of course you can shut it down, but that doesn't mean it's saturated. That has nothing to do with saturation. Yet a lot of these guys are literally then saying, oh, SMMA now is saturated. Well, no, you got your business to a good level, you made money with it, you decided you didn't like it, you shut it down. That doesn't mean it's saturated. I think the easiest way to poke the hole in the SMMA is saturated debate, if it was truly saturated, then nobody would be able to sign clients, right? Like every new agency owner would go out there, do outreach, and nobody would sign clients. That is so far from the truth. I run a mentoring program, but I'm not the only guy that does this. And if we're seeing on average anywhere from about 5 to 10 wins every single week from our students, imagine all the other guys who also have programs. Imagine what they're seeing. We have a pretty small, tight-knit community. I'm guessing there are other guys that have thousands of students. Out of the 5 to 10 wins we're seeing per week with our students, most of them are not coming from a business background. Most of them have started their SMMA from zero, from scratch as a beginner. So if they can figure out how to make it work, then again, I ask the question, how is it saturated? Another point about this that really just proves this point so damn clearly. When I started in 2019, everybody back then was saying it was saturated. And now they're still saying it years later. So like you have probably seen videos of people saying it's saturated, and then you have felt that maybe it's right that you don't start. Imagine I saw one of those videos and then didn't take action. Well, where would I be? Myth number 2 that's floating around the SMMA space is people saying that the only way to make it work is through a personal brand. Do I think building a personal brand will be beneficial for you starting your own SMMA? Of course. Do I think it's a very good long-term play? Yes. Is it the best use of your time if you're starting as a beginner who doesn't know how to create content, doesn't know how to build a brand, and wants to get their first client in 1 or 2 months? Then no, it's not. Building a personal brand it's not going to happen like this. It's going to happen from months of trial and error. So if you are building a personal brand hoping that you will just post content and clients will come to you, that's not very realistic. What's way more realistic is to do this. It's to start your personal brand if you want to, yet you don't have to. And then also do outreach. Use Instagram, use LinkedIn, and use warm marketplaces like Fiverr, Upwork, and Bark to get your first few clients. Again, you've got to think about why there are people in this space saying that the only way to do it is with a personal brand. It's because they're most likely selling you a program or a mentorship on how to build a personal brand, which is cool. And I think they'll get good results with their students, but it's not the only way. And saying that cold outreach doesn't work is just ridiculous, because I can pull up multiple wins every week from students, from beginners who are starting this from scratch, and they're saying, hey, I just signed a client for $500 a month and I found them on Instagram. See, there's a massive disconnect. And the reason people do this is because you have to be polarizing on social media. And some of these guys that are making videos saying, hey, SMMA is saturated and cold outreach doesn't work, they probably know deep down that that is not the case, but they know that they have to say something that's going to get a reaction. The third myth I see floating around, very, very common right now. Literally, over the last couple of months, I've seen this countless dozens of times. Is people saying that business owners no longer want to pay for done-for-you agency services. Instead, they want to pay for coaching, consulting, and for you to teach them how to do it. Now look, my SMMA started as a traditional SMMA. We were getting paid to create content, manage clients, everything was done for you. Now that transitioned over time to more of a content/consulting agency, where we would create your content and then consult with you, aka teach you how to post it on social media, what hashtags to use, how to use it. I've tons of experience selling that consulting service. And what I can tell you is that it was way harder to sell consulting rather than done for you. Think of it like this. I have a bottle of water. You can either pay me and I'll give you the bottle, or you can pay me and I'll teach you all about the bottle and where you can possibly find one. You see, if you're really thirsty, you will pay the money to get the bottle. If you're not so thirsty and you've drank 2 liters already today, then maybe yes, you'll pay for me to teach you how to find the bottle. When I sold a done for you service, we would charge anywhere from $1,200 a month. That was the first ever client we got, but we'd also charge some clients up to $3K per month. With our content consulting packages, the most we ever really would have charged was maybe 1,000. So we could charge more money with Done For You. Our close rate on sales calls was way higher. The only thing I will say as a negative is that the clients didn't stay as long. We actually kept clients longer with the content and consulting model. But look, most of you watching this video, your problem probably isn't client retention. You're probably struggling to get your first client. So look, SMMA is not saturated. And yes, you can sell Done For You services. Could you start a personal brand and do consulting? Of course. But that makes a lot more sense when you have expertise. I'll be honest, I've tried teaching beginners who are trying to start an agency for the first time, and I've tried to teach them how to add consulting in, how to offer consulting as an upsell or as part of their service. And 9 out of 10 stick to Done For You services because that's way more comfortable. Consulting is positioning yourself as an expert. And most people, if they're a beginner, are just not an expert. And as much as I can try and teach you how to be an expert, you're not going to be an expert unless you've done stuff. So if you're running an SMMA, you don't have to shut it down and completely switch your business model. And if you're planning to start one, you can still start one. It is still by far the best business to start if you're a beginner. It's literally what I would start tomorrow if you were to take everything away from me. As I mentioned throughout this video, we're literally seeing between 5 to 10 wins a week from our students. We've had 103 people make between 5,000 a month and 30,000 per month. Like if you do the maths on that, that's a shit ton of money our students are making. And we're seeing more wins now than we ever did before. So again, this whole idea of it being saturated is just ridiculous. There'll be a link below this video in the description if you feel like I could potentially help you, or if you'd just like to have a quick chat and yeah, just talk and see if what we offer is a good fit. Have a great rest of your day. We'll talk soon.